Stay tuned for Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas, a leading financial retirement strategist and the founder of Soutas Financial and Insurance Solutions, right here in Fresno. Every week, Dale discusses pressing financial topics of the week, ranging from reliable income strategies to our financial markets, including Social Security, tax strategies, wealth management, RMDs, legacy planning, long-term care solutions, and most importantly, how to make sure you have enough guaranteed lifetime income to retire your way with choice and dignity. From taxes to trends to total transparency, Dale covers it all. And now, here is Retire Your Way and Dale Soutas. This is Retire Your Way with financial advisor Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial. On today's program, we're going to talk a little bit about tax season and what California retirees need to know, and how do the stock markets react when global conflicts break out, as we have seen recently. And we have some amazing questions from folks on Social Security and how do we take care of our aging parents right here in California. This is Dale's opening bell. Mr. Dale Soutas, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing great. How are you, Spike?
Good. Well, interesting. Definitely turmoil creates confusion in the markets. We have seen that. But it seems like a lot of decisions happening right now, along with tax season. And what do we do with, even that timing of Social Security, especially if folks are trying to retire this year or reacting to newer reports that there could be modifications to Social Security even sooner than we expected. Dale, you really like help unwinding the questions for folks, don't you? You've got a few of them for us today.
Yeah. It's interesting. The things people do, sometimes the things they hear, and they start doing some things, some goofy things that they shouldn't be doing, or that can mess up their future or even their immediate income and things of that sort. Recently we had younger lady. She's only, in early 60s, and she's still working, and she started Social Security because she could at 62, not realizing that how that, her income that she's earning affects what she gets from Social Security. And real simply, she's making maybe over $70,000 a year.
Okay.
And because she could, she started Social Security. Now, unfortunately, we didn't know her way back when she started it, and she's been getting it for over a year. So now she can't undo it. Within the first 12 months, you can undo. If you started Social Security too soon, you can, stop it. You can give the money back and have it delay and get more down the road. You could, there's some maneuvering you can do. In her particular case, because she's earning, let's say it's only $70,000. So everything above $24,480, so $24,500. Everything she makes above that, for every $2, she loses one of her Social Security dollars back to Uncle Sam. Well, let's say she's getting $24,000, $2,000 a month from Social Security. Well, if you do the math, she's losing almost $23,000 back to Social Security because she's still working. She didn't realize that. People, before you start Social Security, it's good, just bounce the ideas out. It doesn't cost a dime to know, how to do it, how to maximize the benefits from Social Security. And especially if you don't absolutely need it, why start it early? Don't be panicking because, it might not be there down the road. Likely they will do something that will allow Social Security to continue funding or being funded. A simple fix would be raise that 180-something thousand cap. If you make more than 180,000, 84.7 or something like that, whatever you make above that, you don't contribute into Social Security. Well, what if they raise that to $500,000 or even $1 million? Yeah, the people making a lot of money will squawk, but that would eliminate the problem with Social Security almost immediately, as far as the funding of it being able to continue for everybody instead of being
take
cut.
all of our elected officials in Washington, D.C. to actually agree on something, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but think about it the other way. What if they allow, like the Baby Boomer Dilemma movie points out very clearly, roughly in 2034, if they do not do anything, then Social Security would have to be cut by 1/3 for everyone. Those receiving it and those, in the future, the amount would have to be cut in 1/3. Well, if that happened, be realistic. What's going to happen across the country? They're going to kick the politicians out of their jobs. They're going to lose their money. They're going to lose their power. They're going to put people in there to fix it, which, again, what are they going to do? There's a number of things they can do. One simple fix is raise the cap on it. What if they had no cap and just instead of a total of, 15 or close to 16%? That's put into from your wages into Social Security, maybe have just 10%. I mean, there's things they can do. I'm not out here to say how to fix it because I don't think there's a real permanent fix in some ways, but they're going to do something to keep their jobs, to keep, that income they get and the power they have as politicians. So I'm not panicked about it, but when we panic and we started early, not knowing how other things can affect what we get. I mean, like this case, the young lady, I say young lady, she's only about 63, 64. And, with 70,000 of earned income, do the math, she's losing almost all of her Social Security back to Uncle Sam because she's making a decent income.
And I totally understand it. I get it. First question I'll ask you is, why don't you think the person at the Social Security office, or did she get a flag that popped up online when she started to register her Social Security? Why didn't anybody maybe explain this to her when she turned it on? Isn't the Social Security office supposed to explain some of these things to you?
That's not really their job. You say, hey, I want to start my Social Security. And nowadays it's so easy. You just log into your account on ssa.gov and you can apply for it. And likely that's how she did it. She just, I'm 62, I can start it. She goes in, start my Social Security. And they're not going to say, hey, are you working? Did you know you could lose, $1 for every $2 above, 24,000-ish that you make? No, they're not out there to coach us,
Yeah.
That's not their job. They just process our requests and things of that sort. So,
And she's also locked in a lower base amount of her Social Security for the rest of her life, correct? I mean, it's not like, because I think some people think, oh, well, I'll start early, I'm going to take a reduction, but when I get to full retirement age, it'll go up to my full amount. No, if you're turning,
no.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. If you start at 62 and your full retirement age is 67, you're taking a 30% drop. You're losing, almost a third
forever
of what you could have forever. Yeah. And, that's part of what we show in our workshops every month is how to time Social Security, the difference between starting at early or full retirement age or even delaying, and the big difference it makes over the long haul. I mean, the last workshop we gave, I just asked, okay, so if in the example I give, if they start at 62 and compared to 67, their full retirement age, there was about just shy of $400,000 extra over their lifetime that they would get by waiting till full retirement age. And that wasn't even pushing their life expectancy way out. It was killing the husband at 85 and the wife at 90. I mean, and people are living longer.
Let's go with expiring. How about expiring?
Oh, yeah. Expiring. Did I say it wrong again? Yeah. It's like the wife knocking him off.
Turned it into an episode of Dateline. Okay.
Okay, but see, in that example, I said, so in that retirement time, could you use an extra 300,000 or 400,000? Would that help you? Well, yeah. Well, okay. Why are you starting it early when it can, you have more money to use and enjoy and travel or pick on the kids, grandkids, whatever? It's just not smart to start it early for most people.
I have also heard, though, or had people ask me and said, wait a second, don't I get all of that money back once I get to my full retirement age? My first question, is that real? Have you ever seen it happen? Does it work that way? Do you get like a big lump sum? Like, oh, here, by the way, here's all that money that you didn't get to keep because of the $1 for every two.
Well, I mean, once you hit 67, it'll go back up. You're not going to get that ding. Even if you're working. So if you want to work and take Social Security, you need to wait till full retirement age, because then let's say this particular lady's getting $2,000 a month or $3,000 a month from Social Security, and she's also getting 70 or 100,000 from working, but she's already, she started her Social Security at full retirement age. There's no ding. There's no reduction of your benefits.
I love the technical terminology of it. No dings. We don't want any dings on your Social Security, folks.
Or dents.
Or dents. Look, there's not a lot that the team can do as far as changing what your Social Security amount is if you've already had it on for over 12 months. The only real way to redo your Social Security is to stop it. You're going to have to go through paperwork and everything, and you'd have to pay back everything you've already been paid. So if you haven't turned on your Social Security yet and would like to find out the timing of it, please feel free to give us a call. If you have already turned it on, especially if you might be one of our state employees, we want to make sure that you're getting everything out of it that you could, because maybe you might even be thinking to yourself, I don't get Social Security because of the way I was employed throughout my lifetime. Give us a call. Let us do your Social Security review and make sure you're getting all of the answers to your Social Security questions correct. 833-856-1382 is the phone number. That's 833-856-1382. If you'd like to schedule your own time, you can also do that at the website, Soutas.com, Soutas.com. More with Dale Soutas right after this.
Are you worried about taxes eating into your retirement savings? By engaging in savvy tax planning, you might be able to create greater tax efficiency in your retirement plan. At Soutas Financial, our team of retirement planning specialists can help you explore tax-deferred and tax-free investment options, as well as strategies to help potentially minimize your tax burden in retirement. Don't let taxes derail your retirement plans. Let us help you create a tax-efficient financial plan and work towards maximizing your savings and minimizing your taxes. Call Dale Soutas of Retire Your Way and the team at Soutas Financial today to learn more about our tax planning solutions. Call 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Is your largest retirement savings account one that you haven't paid taxes on? Like millions of Americans, you've saved into a retirement account that deferred paying taxes until you take that money out years from now. One method to save on future taxes is called a Roth conversion, and you could do that right now to save yourself from higher taxes in the future. Currently living during the lowest tax rates of likely your lifetime, wouldn't it make sense to pay those taxes now instead of in the future when tax rates could be much higher? Call 833-856-1382 to talk with Dale Soutas and the team at Soutas Financial to see if doing a Roth conversion from your 401ks or IRAs makes sense. Take the Roth Conversion Challenge from Dale Soutas and the team at Soutas Financial. It's complimentary for our radio listeners who are serious about retirement planning. Challenge yourself. Would you rather pay lower taxes now or higher taxes in the future? Call for your own complimentary Roth Conversion Challenge from Dale Soutas and Soutas Financial. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382. Welcome back to Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial right here in California. In fact, we want to let you know just before the commercial break, we gave out the phone number, the website. You can schedule your own time. We can do your Social Security review, tax review. I know it's tax season right now. Are you doing it on your own? Are you going to your CPA and saying, hey, make sure once again that I pay as little in taxes this year as possible? That's what we've been saying for 30 or 40 years. Maybe it's time to take a different view, a different lens look at your tax situation. Wouldn't you like to pay lower taxes later in your retirement years? Call the phone number as this next person just did, 833-856-1382 to schedule your own portfolio, tax, Social Security, estate planning review, whatever's on your mind. Dale, we got a phone call, and I don't know if it's from one of your brand new commercials that we've got on this station, and on several stations, in fact, or if it came directly from the radio show, because we use a lot of the same numbers. But you had somebody calling in. It was also related to Social Security, but somehow completely different than our early timer of somebody taking it as early as 62. What was your phone call about this week?
Well, it's interesting, and we have this happen regularly. People who were teachers, so you get STRS, state teachers retirement system. They didn't pay into Social Security while they're working. So the example that I present is a lady. She never was employed outside of teaching. Her husband was, but she didn't contribute into Social Security, not even a penny through her career. And it used to be, okay, now that you're retired and your husband's retired, you can't even file off of his record to get half of his, amount. So what's interesting is now that that bill was signed a while back before Biden left office, the STRS ones can actually file off of their spouse's Social Security
Oh,
record. So, for example, the way it works when you say getting half of your spouse's is if your spouse, in this case, if her husband, started his Social Security at full retirement age, which for most people born 1960 or after is 67, right? So if he started his Social Security at 67, full retirement age, or even later, if as long as she's at full retirement age as well, she can file off of his record. And let's, for this
hmm.
example, for easy math for Dale's brain, let's say his amount of Social Security is $3,000 a month. Well, she's entitled to get $1,500 a month on top of what he's getting. In other words, it doesn't affect his benefits at all. It's just a benefit she can get because he did contribute and they're married. They weren't living together, right? So they're married and she could file and get that $1,500 a month. Well, it used to be because you're a STRS retiree, you couldn't do that, but now you can. And so sometimes people, if you're STRS, now a lot of STRS people realize they were getting a little bit, maybe because they worked and maybe a few hundred, and now it bumped up, to a few hundred more automatically because once that enacted, that law came about, then automatically Social Security was bumping up people's Social Security who were entitled to it with STRS. So sometimes if you, particularly the ones of you who didn't contribute into it, you are married, or even if you're a widow of someone who
Hmm.
contributed into it, you can go back and file off of that person, your spouse's record, and get the amount that you're entitled to. So it's something to be aware of for those STRS type
Dale,
retirees.
you
Yeah.
have helped. I know that you've had thousands and thousands and thousands of conversations with folks. You probably have, you could have 1,000 or more as far as folks who work through Soutas Financial, and you're building that team right now. I mean, someday Soutas Financial could be helping hundreds of thousands of folks, right?
Well, yeah, the thousands was just yesterday, I
Yes,
think, wasn't
yes.
it?
But
Yeah.
so STRS through the state, they
So
don't have,
teachers,
they don't,
state teachers, yeah,
yeah, they don't have to pay that 5 point something% into
correct.
Social Security on their own. Okay. But you'd be able to file off the spousal, which is something newer. So have you been able to help others do this? I mean, this is pretty new, especially, for folks who are wanting to retire last year or this year. Is it working
Right.
pretty easily? Because I mean, this is brand new stuff.
Well, yeah, like I said, so let's say you're a teacher, but you also had other jobs through the years, and so
Hmm.
you did contribute into Social Security, and you found out that you got a haircut on your Social Security amount, even though it said when you pulled up your report maybe 1,000 a month, let's say, but you're only getting 300 a month, And now with the new law, for those who were already on or getting Social Security, entitled to it and applied for it. They would bump them up automatically from that 3 to, let's say, that 1,000. But the area, I think sometimes those of you out there that are STRS retirees may not know, if you're getting zero Social Security, yet you're married and your spouse is entitled to Social Security, or you're a widow of one who had Social Security, you should be able to easily apply for Social Security based off of their record. So it's a nice feature.
Well, and just even with your little example there, well, it was you were just making up numbers, but $1,000 or 1,500, 1,800 possibly a month in the spousal benefit. That's a huge difference in what your income plan looks
Mhm.
like in retirement. So
Let me
great.
throw another curve.
Okie
This will be
dokie.
a fun one.
All right.
So you are a retired teacher.
Mm-hmm.
You're not entitled to any Social Security on your own record. You didn't contribute into
Yeah.
it. You were married and you divorced the person. I won't say jerk. Okay, I didn't say that.
Mm-hmm.
You're divorced, but you were married 10 years or more. Likely you can go again off of that person's record because you were married 10 years or more. So it's similar to ones today, let's say you and your former spouse that you divorced are at or past full retirement age, and half of his Social Security is higher than all of your Social Security at your retirement age. So you could still file off of your divorced spouse and get the higher amount instead of off of your own record. So there's a lot of things that people don't realize when it comes to how to maximize Social Security.
Mm-hmm.
So, apparently, what brought this up was the one who was a STRS teacher, had zero Social Security, but was married. And we said, look, why don't you file off of his record? Because you can get some additional income, because you're married. So,
Well, and part of it because the people didn't realize they might be able to do that. I mean, for decades, it's been that you don't get a Social Security off of that plan.
Or you get a reduced amount, a big reduction in it. Yeah.
Yeah. So are there other pension plans like that as well? Or does this only work with the STRS because they didn't pay into Social Security and so they didn't think they were going to get it? Is this working with other pension plans here in the state?
Well, I want to tackle
haven't experienced it
mainly
yet?
STRS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I most of the time, a lot of people, let's say you work for PG&E or you work for other big companies and you contribute into both Social Security and you have a pension coming. That's not affected at all. You get both. There's no reduction.
Most importantly, are you getting the correct amount for your Social Security? Do you know the best timing of it? Do you know how to put it together in a plan with your spouse's Social Security timing? Are you solo in retirement? Now, oh boy, there's one more question for you. So what if we had two pairs of teachers? What if we had two STRS who have been married together for a long time? Is there any hope there on Social Security or probably not? Because you made
okay, if either one did contribute into Social Security and is entitled to some, then again, it still all applies.
Okay.
It's going to be boosted up. It used to be, let's say, if you're entitled to $1,000 a month, but you were a teacher, it was reduced, down to, depending on the amount and years you contributed. But a lot of times it's reduced down to like $200 or $300 instead of your full $1,000. Well, that's thrown out the window. You get your full $1,000, and then if you're married, the other spouse can still get off of your record. So. Again, if both were teachers and never contributed into Social Security, then sorry, you can't get any because you didn't. Neither of you contributed. So yeah, everybody's different.
All right, but it does work. Maybe if you had a spouse who wasn't also a teacher, but more importantly, the entire point of this conversation is we want to make sure that you are properly timing your Social Security, that you're getting all that you deserve. Even if you don't think that you're going to be getting Social Security, why don't we do that review for you? As helpful as the Social Security office tries to be, they are not there for financial planning advice. Call 833-856-1382 so we can help you couple in your Social Security with the rest of your income planning for retirement. At no cost to you, Dale and his team are right here in California. 833-856-1382. More with Dale Soutas after these bottom of the hour breaks.
Do you know how much you might be paying in fees within your retirement accounts? Just 1 or 2% in hidden fees can eat into your savings and potentially hinder your ability to achieve your retirement goals. But how do you know if you're currently paying these hidden fees and how do you find them? Dale Soutas and the team at Soutas Financial can help you find the fees within your investments and explore solutions designed to assist with minimizing them. Take control of your retirement savings so that you can work towards keeping more of your hard-earned money. Call for your very own complimentary Retire Your Way review and fee finder report. Let us help work towards finding, exposing, and helping to eliminate those potential hidden fees for you. Call Dale Soutas and Soutas Financial today for your complimentary fee review. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Inflation has risen to the highest level in over 40 years, according to the April 2022 U.S. Inflation Calculator. Will your investments provide you the income you need in retirement? Are you losing purchasing power of your savings to inflation? Simply stated, if the daily cost of goods and services is 8% higher and you are earning 4% in your investments, that money buys you less of what you need. Right now is the time to act to be certain you have an income strategy that overcomes the effects of inflation. Get your own complimentary retirement Retirement Income Review by calling Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial and retire your way. 833-856-1382. You might have the savings you need today to weather this storm, but how will inflation affect your nest egg 5, 10, or 15 years from now? Discover the peace of mind you deserve. Call and ask for your complimentary, no obligation Retirement Income Review from Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Do you know how you'll generate income from your investments along with your Social Security in retirement? In our opinion, it's never too early to start the income planning process for your future. An income plan can help you work towards creating a steady stream of income to support you throughout your retirement years. Don't leave your financial future to chance. Take control today and start income planning for your retirement. Call the team at Soutas Financial so we can help you design a complimentary written income plan to help you live the retirement you've always wanted. Call 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Welcome back to Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial. Coming up towards the end of the program here, we've got an amazing story, and it's a common story here in the United States as our folks are getting older. Got a wonderful person who's taking care of both of her parents. But how much is she preparing for herself for retirement? What kind of needs do we need to put in place, both financially as far as structure and maybe legally as well, to make sure that she can continue the pathway of taking care of her parents? We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But I do want to bring it up again. It is tax season right now, and tax season for everybody, but especially for our pre-retirees and retirees. Anything different here in California, or surprises, or any of your big, huge, regular annual reminders when it comes to tax season? Do we go to our CPA right now, Dale, and say, I want to pay as little in taxes as possible?
Well, that's the big thing I usually harp on is, we go to our tax person, CPA, accountant, whatever, to do tax preparation. But really, if you think about it, their job is to help us, with our taxes and to see what we owe. And a lot of times we get caught up with thinking, well, how can I lower what I have to pay or get more of a refund?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's nice, but how are you affecting your future? Because if you're focused just on how to save taxes today, chances are you're doing things, you may be throwing extra money into your IRAs and other retirement accounts to keep your taxes down today and deferring the tax on that money to a later time and a later tax calculation. And what I mean by that is, even at our workshops, I always ask people, with the national debt, not 30, but over 225, 230 trillion, the real unfunded national debt. Okay,
so
real
that's
debt,
like
not
our
the
credit
official.
card. That's like our credit card debts that are going to be coming no matter what. That's things like federal employees'
Exactly.
salaries and stuff like that. So you're saying the unfunded debt.
Well, unfunded, yeah. See, the government's the only entity that doesn't subscribe to the GAAP, Generally Accepted Accounting Principles. So everybody else has to list not only all the things they owe right now, but what their liabilities are for the future, what their mortgage or their business loans or whatever. The government, the official, when they say, oh, the national debt's 30-something trillion, they're not including that unfunded portion, which used to be easy to see on that, what's that thing, debtclock.org.
USDebtClock.org.
Thank you.
But now they hid it.
They did. I don't know if it's the latest administration or what, but I still have numbers from back in May. And back then, the official debt was 30-something trillion, but the real national debt was over 225 trillion. So I did say trillion on the first one, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, but my point being, very simply, is just this. People at our workshops, I say, okay, what do you think? 10, 20 years from now, where will tax rates be? Will they stay the same? Will they go down? Or will they go up? And everybody agrees they're going to have to go up. Why? We're at the third lowest tax rates in U.S. history. And so taxes, for all practical purposes, are on sale today. So when you lower your taxes today, you're lowering them at the low tax rates. And you're deferring that money and what it grows to a later time, and likely a higher tax rate. And let's add another layer of fun. If you're married and one of you passes away, that surviving spouse goes from the low married tax rates to the highest single tax rates. And then on top of that, have to take money out of those tax deferred accounts on top of all their other income, and now pushing into higher and higher brackets. So I like to point out to people, it's more important to do tax planning than just tax preparation. And what we mean by that is, how do you structure things so that in retirement you keep Uncle Sam out of as much of your retirement savings as possible, minimize or eliminate taxes in retirement. Yeah, it's tax time, but don't get caught up with just saving taxes today, because likely you're going to create what we call a tax bomb for your retirement.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things, is kind of the changes, that legislative changes can change the taxes. But currently, as you said, we're in some of the lowest tax rates in history right now. And if we go to our CPA person and continue the mantra of make sure I pay as little in taxes this year as possible, you're not changing your situation. And it probably feels better for this year when you go and file them. But Dale, how do you turn somebody around and get them to pay more taxes now? How do you?
Oh, I got a big stick in the. Oh,
I
no.
was going to say.
Yeah.
I just think,
No,
I
I mean,
you know
it
what? We
just-
want to pay $50,000 more in taxes this year. Somebody's got to look at you like you're crazy, or crazier than they already think we all do.
Well, I mean, if you're going to save for your future, use tax-free systems, not tax-deferred. Okay.
Ooh,
When you
that's
put money in your IRA, 401k, 403b, TSP, you're putting income in, and you're not paying tax on that income today, but you're going to pay taxes on it down the road. Plus, hopefully it grows. It should, right? So now you have that money plus whatever it grows to, you got to pay tax on. I call that you just create a bigger tax bomb. But yeah, to do the tax planning side, it's smart to, again, look at those tax-free vehicles. Maybe you pay the tax on money and you use Roth IRAs, Roth 401ks. And now all the growth, you don't pay any taxes on that growth. You don't get a 1099 each year out of your Roth accounts and have to pay tax. No, it even grows tax-free to use down the road, again, tax-free.
Dale, how much are you helping your clients right now? I mean, where does this fit in? I don't see you with one of those green see-through visors on and your sleeves rolled up like the accountant, tax attorney. Are you doing the filing? Are you doing the reviewing?
Oh, we don't do the tax preparation, no.
Okay, how does that
But
work?
we're going to look at the whole picture as we get your current and even projected incomes and stuff like that. We're going to be looking at what can you do today to minimize, taxes in retirement. Now, being realistic, we have a number of clients who their incomes are very large right now. And, okay, so it makes sense to put some into tax deferred. Maybe you can't even do Roth conversions right now because your income is so high. But let's say that same individual retires. Now they don't have that big, wage, taxable income. So soon after they retire, we might even have them delay starting Social Security so they don't have extra income. But we might have systems then we can start doing Roth conversions as rapidly as possible to get as much of that tax deferred money converted to tax free money. And yeah, we'll pay the tax. I had somebody last year, we did the planning, we're doing, smaller chunks. We're not just converting the whole enchilada from, traditional to Roth. We, have to do the math and look at it with their CPAs, our CPAs. And I remember he called, he says, okay, I'm going to owe $28,000 this year. And, because of the conversion, but he realizes the benefit of that, because if he delays, what's he going to have to pay over the many years on that same chunk of money, and or what would his spouse, his wife have to pay on that money if something happened to him. So there's a lot to consider, but we take people by the hand. We look at the whole picture. We don't just knee jerk and say, oh yeah, convert it, because if you convert too much, then you got other hidden taxes that pop up, like your Medicare premium goes through the roof.
Anti-IRMA.
Anti-IRMA, yeah.
Yeah, nobody
So-
likes Auntie-IRMA. Auntie-IRMA is not your nice aunt who comes by and bakes you cookies and brownies. Auntie-IRMA is your income-related monthly amount adjusted that can really hurt you. And you've talked to me about this before. I mean, you've had people who were paying $400, $500 a month.
Extra.
Man.
Yeah. Like, normally, like right now, if you have Medicare A and B, the B portion costs you $202 a month in 2026. If you make single or married over certain income limits, that can be pushed up higher and higher to the point like when they're a married couple over $500,000 a year, so their each spouse is paying an extra $400 something a month on top of that 202. Plus, their Part D prescription premiums are going up by whatever it is, $80 each a month or something like that. So it can be fun. Again, you got to look at everything, and we don't want some of those so-called hidden taxes slamming you either down the road.
Yeah. And if you are starting to find that out or are worried about getting hit with hidden taxes as you are in your retirement years, I mean, 100, 200, 400, 500 here and there can make a difference in your monthly spend. Call the phone number if you would like to do your tax planning review at no cost to you with your financial advisor here, Dale Soutas in California, founder of Soutas Financial. 833-856-1382 is that phone number. Soutas.com is the website where you can go and schedule your own time as well. That's SOUTAS.com. Come on in, meet Dale and his team at the new offices right here in California. More Retire Your Way right after this.
Will you outlive your money? It's a scary thought, but it's a real concern for many people. In our opinion, that's why it's crucial to have a solid retirement plan in place. We believe that with proper planning, you can work towards making your money last as long as you do. Don't wait until it's too late to start thinking about your financial future. Call Dale Soutas and the team at Soutas Financial today to learn how we can help you create a retirement plan that can potentially help you obtain peace of mind and security for years to come. Don't let the fear of running out of money in retirement keep you up at night. Take control of your financial future today. Start your Retire Your Way review and financial plan by calling 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
In your retirement spending plan, which accounts do you take from first to pay your monthly expenses? Your 401ks, 403bs, or 457s, or your IRAs, or your Roth accounts, investment, or savings accounts? Do you turn on your Social Security right away or delay? Do you use the growth from your mutual funds, ETFs, or bond funds first? Did you sell your business to create income, or do you have life insurance or annuity options? Or what about using HSAs for medical costs? Are you unclear if you have a retirement income strategy at all? You have accumulated assets for retirement for years. Now you need an efficient strategy to make certain these assets work together and last as long as you need them to. Call Dale Soutas of Retire Your Way and Soutas Financial for your own complimentary written income plan right away. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382. Or you can write Dale at dale@soutas.com. SOUTAS.com. Welcome back to Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial. We are literally going to jump into this one. There was an amazing person who spoke to your team at your most recent live event, your most recent retirement planning seminar. What information did you get from the team so far, Dale?
Well, interesting. I'm really looking forward to getting all the details from her. But a young lady, I think she's like 42. She's a caregiver for mom and dad already, on top of working, outside, working as well.
Wow.
And so part of it is, well, for care, what level of care do they need? Okay. But the big thing I got from the team so far was she's in line to inherit the home. And I don't even know if she and siblings, or if it's just she's an only child or what. But so the natural question my team knows to ask is, well, does mom and dad, do they have a trust? And she said, well, no, they have a will. And so they knew that's a red flag. So they really emphasized, you need to sit down with the
Okay.
team here.
Hey, tell our listener, why is that a red flag right away for you?
Okay, good question. So you got a house and you got other assets and such. You have a will that says it goes to my kid or kids, let's say, my beneficiaries. The will doesn't keep the house out of probate. Now, the probate is like putting all your clean laundry on the clothesline outside. Everybody can see your laundry, right? So probate is a public thing. The house, whatever other assets that don't have named beneficiaries would be subject to anybody can see what mom and dad have or had after they passed away. The house now, because, I like to liken it. You could take a Sharpie and maybe write on the side of the house, I want my house to go to my son, my daughter, or whatever. But to be silly, Dale can paint over it and put Dale, right? In other words, that you can name beneficiaries on different accounts, whether they're bank accounts, investments, retirement accounts, and such. You can have named beneficiaries, which keep those assets from going to probate. But the house, the fancy will, I like to liken a living trust to just a fancy will because the trust now owns the house. Mom and dad are still in control of the trust assets, being the trustees. So it doesn't change control. The trust outlives mom and dad. Now, if dad passes away, mom's still in full control, just like if they own the home as jointly own it. But if both of them die, now the house has a successor trustee. Some people call them executors, but it's a successor trustee that handles what the trust says to do. At the time the second of them die, in a married couple example, the trust is now irrevocable, unchangeable. Whatever the designations of beneficiaries that were last put in or updated in the trust are now concrete, that you can't, well, I think I should get more. No. Most trusts have no contest clauses that keep siblings from trying to grab more than they're entitled to.
Okay, sorry. Hang on. Yeah. So first of all, we've got
A trust is needed.
Right. That's a big thing. First thing we need to find out is, do they have siblings or not? So we're talking about a 40-something
Yeah,
year
on
old.
this example, yeah. Does she have any siblings or not? But last thing on the trust, this trust keeps it a private family matter, and the family can then pass the house on to whomever a mom and dad said to do, to pass it on. If it's one child, it goes to the one child. And with this young lady, she's working hard taking care of mom and dad. If she's an only child, fine. We need to make sure things work out that way. If mom and dad have multiple beneficiaries, and in other words, there's a lot more to ask before we know exactly which way to jump.
Exactly. And I know that you were trying to get over to the trust planning and preparing, that folks thinking that you have a will, that everything is simplified, but there's a Grand Canyon of information we need to find out first. So let me go back just a little bit. 40 plus years old, sounded like she was still working and taking care of mom and dad. In my limited capacity of knowing about this right now, it sounds a little bit like mom and dad might need, maybe some cleaning care, visitation care, maybe even some food care.
Maybe transportation.
Right. This does not sound yet like memory care, mobility care, the total amount of care. The other thing about this is that, do mom and dad's health trajectory, are they going to take exactly the same pathway at exactly the same timeline? Because we made an assumption, that when mom and dad passed, then the home moved. Let's go back to mom and dad before
the care they need.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're talking about helping someone with financial planning who was taking care of their parents, doing the Lord's work, quite frankly. I mean, it is a lot, but this is what it's becoming. As we're living longer, we might become the caregivers to our parents. And with two parents, it's not always the same glide path, is it?
Oh, yeah. Let's say dad has memory issues and mom's declining physically, so there's two different types of issues.
Yeah.
Maybe one's bedridden. We don't even know yet. And then on top of just the red flag about making sure the house passes properly, really, more importantly, there are programs that we help families with since 1997 that can help them pay for care, not just in like a nursing home or other facility, but there's sometimes ways we can activate additional money above what people normally can get through IHSS, in-home supportive services, to the tune of sometimes over $4,000 a month to keep our loved ones at home. So we've been helping families with those programs. What if dad's a veteran and there may be some VA benefits we can activate that are tax-free.
Or mom.
So
Mom could be a veteran as
well,
well. Yep.
yeah, the VA benefits start with the veteran. Yeah, well, we've had people where both mom and dad were both veterans. So yes, we can magnify those benefits. But or a widow of a veteran, there's ways to activate money sometimes tax-free, for care.
And part of the reason I bring this up is that, for our listeners out there, you could make the same general assumption. Oh, when mom and dad pass away, she's going to get the home, and whether she wants to live there or if she already has her own home and family and she's going to sell it for proceeds, that's making a big leap in logic that home is still going to be there. Now, as you said, with all of your decades of experience in the California, maybe financially, we got to find out how much mom and dad have.
Well, I'll need to see the whole picture, but how about there's times people don't need those other programs that we typically help with. Maybe they have plenty of assets, plenty of income, and it's easy to coach them to keep things going without, losing the farm, so to speak, or selling the farm. What if, in this particular case, again, what if their care increases to the point where it's not practical, it's not safe for one or both of them to stay at home, and they do need to be in some type of facility? Again, our goal with our families is how do we keep them ultimately out of a nursing home? Worst case scenario to be in some kind of assisted living, cruise ship on land. Some of those are really nice, but how do we pay for it?
You say cruise ship on land, I want to say once a week. I think you're looking forward to it yourself. I think you are.
Right? I like going on cruises. I haven't been on one for
maybe you will.
A decade or more, but in other words, if for those of us that have been on a cruise, it's like being on a floating city. You got first class food, you got entertainment, you got a place to stay.
You got doctor care.
You got whatever you need pretty much on the ship. But again, how do we deal with loved ones who are declining? Or what if, the thing we say, the rule of thumb for our listeners, for the people we talk to is if a loved one lands in a hospital, call us. You need to know what their rights and options are before moving them, because sometimes you can activate a program that can magnify in-home care, should they possibly need that. Whereas if you bring them home too soon, it takes a couple years or more to activate that same program to get the extra dollars to, care for them out of a nursing home. So there's options that people don't realize that. And trying to go online and, how you got to spend down to $2,000. No, you don't. The programs that are available for us in California, even if you think you're over the asset limit, many times we show people how to protect their money, activate programs to keep themselves or their loved ones, out of a nursing home. So just call, know your options.
And this is why I'm going to tell our listeners right now, whether you feel that you need a financial advisor right away or not, take down this phone number, because the moment you have that need, you might be scrambling. We might be in our fear or our panic zone. Make a phone call to someone who can talk you through what your options might be before you make a decision that we can't reverse. Your financial advisor, Dale Soutas, is here for you and here for you in the state of California. 833-856-1382 is that phone number. We love this question. We love all of the questions from today, from taking Social Security early to how do you file for Social Security when you were on the state retirement program, to how do you take care of mom and dad, both legally, physically, mentally, and financially, while you're also trying to save for yourself. These are the kind of questions that Dale and his team love to answer and would love to answer for you. Call the phone number, ask for your free portfolio review. There's no cost to it. 833-856-1382. Thanks for listening. I'm Spike. Dale and I will be back again next week. Tax loss harvesting is a strategy that may help minimize the amount of current taxes you have to pay on your investments by choosing to sell an investment at a loss. It is only appropriate for certain taxpayers in certain scenarios. Please review your retirement savings, tax, and legacy planning strategies with your legal tax advisor before attempting a tax loss harvesting strategy. Comments regarding a particular client's experiences and outcomes may or may not be the same as another client's experience and could differ substantially, and is not an indication that any client or prospective client will experience the same or a higher level of future success or performance. A Roth conversion may not be suitable for your situation. The primary goal in converting retirement assets into a Roth IRA is to reduce the future tax liability on the distributions you take in retirement or on the distributions of your beneficiaries. The information provided is to help you determine whether or not a Roth IRA conversion may be appropriate for your particular circumstances. Please review your retirement savings, tax, and estate/legacy planning strategies with your legal/tax advisor to be sure a Roth IRA conversion fits into your planning strategies. This is not endorsed or affiliated with the Social Security Administration or any U.S. government agency. As a valued radio listener of Retire Your Way, Dale and his entire team of retirement professionals invite you to schedule your very own complimentary retirement plan review session. 833-856-1382 is the number for you to call. If you don't have a retirement strategy mapped out that includes low-fee investment elections, tax minimization strategies, decumulation plans that will last as long as you need them to, then call for your very own retirement review session, complimentary for our valued radio listeners. Are you able to lower your taxes in retirement? Are you unclear about your Social Security, Medicare, investment fees and risk, or how to produce guaranteed lifetime income so your lifestyle and goals don't have to be changed with the ups and downs of the market or taxes? Call Dale Soutas with Soutas Financial and be confident you can retire your way. Schedule your own comprehensive and complimentary retirement review session. Don't just live in retirement, thrive. Call 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Investment advisory services are offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, Foundations, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The content provided is intended for informational and educational purposes only. The views, statements, and opinions expressed herein are those of the individual speakers and not necessarily those of Foundations and its affiliates. The information contained herein does not constitute an offer to sell any securities or represent an express or implied opinion or endorsement of any specific investment opportunity, offering, or issuer. Any discussion of performance or returns is not indicative of future results. Any discussions of specific strategies are for informational purposes only and have been provided to help determine whether they may be appropriate for your specific situation. If applicable, the primary goal is converting retirement assets into a Roth IRA is to reduce the future tax liability on the distributions you take in retirement or on the distributions of your beneficiaries. Each individual investor's situation is different, and any ideas provided may not be appropriate for your particular circumstances. Comments regarding a particular client's experience may or may not be the same as another client's experience and is not an indication that any client or prospective client will experience the same or a higher level of future success or performance. Foundations only transacts business in those jurisdictions where it's properly registered or is excluded or exempted from registration requirements. Registration as an investment advisor is not an endorsement of the firm by securities regulators and does not mean the advisor has achieved a specific level of skill or ability. Nothing herein constitutes a recommendation that any security, portfolio, or securities or investment strategy is suitable for any specific person. No legal or tax advice is provided. Please review your retirement, tax, and estate legacy planning strategies with a legal tax professional before transacting or implementing any strategies discussed herein. Any comments regarding safe and secure investments and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products. They do not in any way refer to investment advisory products. Rates and guarantees provided by insurance products and annuities are subject to the financial strength of the issuing insurance company, not guaranteed by any bank or the FDIC. This is not endorsed or affiliated with the Social Security Administration, any federal Medicare program, nor any U.S. government agency. If applicable, we do not offer every plan available in your area, and contacting us at the phone numbers provided herein will direct you to a licensed insurance agent. Any information we provide is limited to those plans we do offer in your area. Please contact Medicare.gov or 1-800-MEDICARE to get information on all your options. All rights reserved.